Hello, welcome to Hindustan Times Digital. My name is Aditya, and in this video we are going to talk about the Samsung Galaxy A21s and its top camera features. It has quad rear cameras and it has a punch hole design for the front camera. It has a host of AI feature which lets you play around with the different camera setup available with this phone, and you also can play around in terms of the camera lenses that you have, giving you different kind of shots in different angles, which lets you share on social media and get some likes from your friends. So let's get started with the camera features of the Galaxy A21s. So the quad camera setup at the back of the Galaxy A21s, it has 4 cameras as we already mentioned. So this has 48 megapixel primary wide sensor, then you have 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor, 2 megapixel macro sensor and 2 megapixel depth sensor. So these are basically the essentials that you need. Now let's look into the camera interface. So Samsung has basically opted for a very clean camera interface, and you can see it's quite easy to read through, and I think people will find it quite easy to use and maneuver around different features. In terms of the features, you have different options that you get for photo. This you will see over here is the icon which lets you take photos in different angles. So this basically is a closer shot of the image, and then you can basically spread for a ultra wide angle, which using that 8 megapixel sensor at the back. You have the live focus, which again talks about how you can add motion blur background for the subject, and it clearly depends whether you want to put the blur for the front subject or the background. So you can decide it manually and choose whichever you want to use. You also have the HDR option, as you can see over here. You can just tap on this and you will get HDR enabled. In terms of other features, you have panorama over here. You have the macro mode, which is enabled because of the 2 megapixel sensor at the back. So the more sensors that you get at the back of the camera setup, the more variety you have for the phone's camera, and the Galaxy A21s make sure that you have those options. In addition to this, you have the Pro mode, which lets you take ISO, white balance and aperture, manually set it up and click photos in different kind of lighting conditions and during different time of the day or night. Apart from that, you also have the video feature over here, which lets you shoot videos in different resolutions and different screen formats as well. So you have the 9:16, you have the 1:1, and you have the full screen ratio that lets you shoot videos in different varieties and lets you give different perspective to videos before sharing or before basically editing the videos at the same time. More importantly, you have this food mode, which is quite a Instagram popular feature now. So what you do is you use this food mode and you keep it in front of a food which is lying right in front of you on the table, and you click a picture which basically defines the frame for the food, and yeah, you can basically share it on Instagram straight away and get as many likes as you want for that photo. So these are the rare camera features of the Galaxy A21s. Now let's look into the front camera. The front camera is a 13 megapixel sensor, which is there on the punch hole design over here. And in terms of the features, again, you have the live focus mode available. You also have the photo mode, which lets you click wider and a much closer frame using the wide sensor, which is there on the front, as we mentioned. You have the video feature, which lets you take video calls as well as shoot videos, small videos, which you can share on social media. The panorama mode and all are there for the rear camera, so we are not really going to talk about that so much for this one. In addition to this, you have other filter modes that you can add over here, the beauty mode, the filters that you have, different kind of variety in terms of the temperature that you want for the body colors, and the intensity as well at the same time, that you can set auto or manually, whichever way you feel like. So these are basically the camera features of the Galaxy A21s, the front and the rear camera. So these are the top camera features of the Galaxy A21s. You have quad rear cameras at the back, the punch hole design which houses the front camera, and the rear camera gets host of dynamic features based on the camera setup that you have with different lenses available and lets you click photos in different angles and different perspectives. It is essential because you click photos and share on social media for the likes that you get from your friends and your close family friends. And in addition to this, you also have a front camera which not only lets you click selfies but also lets you take video calls, which is also essential with so many people taking it on the go. These are the camera features of this phone. For more videos, check out hindustantimes.com.